Well, I never actually thought the day would come where I get to make this video. I don't know, maybe I'm still getting my hopes up, but it appears as if the Harry Potter TCG is making an official comeback. Just not the way that we all anticipated. So we all know that I have made a campaign, and I know a lot of others have made a campaign as well, to bring back the Harry Potter TCG. We love the game, all right? We want this thing to come back and be official again, right? Well, it seems like those wishes are finally being heard. Again, not in the way we expected, because we were always talking about reviving the old game, but it does appear as if Warner Brothers finally gave somebody the license to make a Harry Potter trading card game. So we're going to take a look at this official statement from Kakawow Global. Now, if anybody has been a Harry Potter collectible guru here in the last few years, you know that Kakawow is known for their trading cards. And specifically, they do a lot of Harry Potter trading cards. But it's usually, I call them the Harry Potter sports cards, because they're basically Harry Potter characters ripped from the films and just placed on like this really cool, super shiny, foily sports card, right? Like that's genuinely the best way I could probably say it. But they're all collectible cards. Kakawow has been doing this for a long time, and it's not just with Harry Potter, but with Harry Potter, it seems like Kakawow is the number one to do it. Upper Deck actually got the rights to do some similar stuff earlier this year, and I believe they've already started putting some product out, but none of those are trading card games. Those are just collectible cards, you know? The things that we've had for the last 20 years because we haven't had an actual TCG. So, at first, when I saw this announcement, which I'll post up on the screen here in a minute, I was skeptical. I had to reread it about 3 different times because I'm like, there's no way I'm reading this right. This is just another collectible thing, but it's not. And I'm going to show you now. So, this is the official announcement from Kakawow Global. They put announcement. Of course, you gotta have the fire emojis. Kakawow to launch the officially licensed Harry Potter trading card game. Kakawow and Warner Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products today jointly announced a long-term strategic partnership to develop the officially licensed Harry Potter trading card game, licensed Harry Potter TCG. Inspired by Harry Potter, the licensed Harry Potter TCG is slated to launch as early as late 2027, with simplified Chinese and English editions available at release. The product will be rolled out across Greater China and multiple Asia-Pacific markets. In the future, the partnership will deliver continuous Wizarding World experiences to Harry Potter fans, trading card collectors, and competitive TCG players across the globe. There's a lot to unpack in that. Let's just start from like the very beginning. It says that their Kakawow is going to launch the officially licensed Harry Potter trading card game. So, of course, they have the licensing agreement with Harry Potter, as they have for the last few years, to put out more cards. But what gets me is the trading card game part. Now, I've actually scoured through Kakawow Global. I even went to like Kakawow, which is another Chinese company, I believe, that does a lot of like collectible cards, not games, but collectible cards. I went through the old Upper Deck stuff. I've gone through all of the TCG, not TCG, collectible card stuff that has been put out in the last few years, and none of them say game. They all say trading cards, but they don't say trading card game. And that is very particular. Somebody like Kakawow with this major IP for Harry Potter is not going to just simply throw out that TCG part without it being intentional. So they put out that it's going to be a trading card game. That just gets me excited just reading it out loud, you know. I'm trying to temper my expectations. I really am, because there's really not a whole lot of information, even though there is a whole lot of information. There's a lot of unknowns with all of this still. So they're saying that they're getting together with Warner Bros. Discovery Global Consumer Products to jointly announce the long-term strategic partnership to develop the officially licensed Harry Potter TCG. So what that tells me is they actually have a roadmap. This is Ren speaking now. This is not anything official. What my interpretation of this is, they have already roadmapped how they're going to do this for at least a few years. And I think that's important. That is a very important note to make there, because the first TCG seemed like it wasn't planned long term. Now, we can get into the whole, like, you know, why did the game shut down? And, Warner Brothers said this, and Wizards of the Coast said this, and why the game originally died. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because it only lasted 5 sets, approximately a year and a half, gone. That's not long term. That's very short term. So when I read this and it says there's a long-term strategic partnership to develop the game, I'm thinking they have a plan for at least 3 to 5 years. At least 3 to 5 years to get the ball rolling, which excites me because the original game never got that shot. Right? We all know the game never got a chance to really get off the ground and take off. Even though it was widely popular, they shut it down before it could get going. This seems like, again, Ren's thoughts here, this seems like they're trying to give it a fair shake. Time will tell. We will know in the near future, because the next part of it talks about how it is a licensed Harry Potter TCG is slated to launch as early as late 2027. So at the very earliest, they're saying about this time next year, the game could be rolling. There's a few things I want to break down with that. Of course, I have something to break down with this. To me, if it's this soon, if they have already got it planned out and mapped out to start as early as late 2027, that tells me that they've already done a lot of groundwork on the game. And that, I think that point is further proved in another separate post that we'll get to here shortly. But games like this do not just come up in a couple months worth of, idea brainstorming, and then they go straight to rolling out product. If they're saying that this game is about a year away at its earliest, they've been at it for a little while. So that to me, that is very encouraging, because not only have they been at it for a little while, they've got a long-term strategic plan, and it seems like they've at least got the rights to do it for a long time. So it seems like they're doing things the right way. Now, all of that just to say that. It'll be in simplified Chinese and English editions. So, and it says at release. So simplified Chinese and English editions. This is where there's some interpretation that is needing to be, had with this. And again, in the next post I'm going to show you, you'll kind of see where I'm coming from, I think, a little bit. It says the product will be rolled out across Greater China and multiple Asia-Pacific markets. I take this one of two ways. I think it's going to be one of two ways on this. Because in the comments, if we were to just scroll down through the comments, there's a lot of people talking about, this isn't going to be available in the U.S., and Canada and Mexico, and this won't be available in Europe. Lots of people talking about that already. I think they're gonna 100% address that long before the game comes out. I truly think that's this is going to be an area of where they see that they need greater communication, and they will communicate it. But because it says it's going to be introduced, the game will be introduced in simplified Chinese and English editions. I do think it's going to be a limited worldwide release at start. Now, it does say that it's going to be coming out across Greater China and multiple Asia-Pacific markets. I think that is more of the long-term, hey, we're going to start off in some areas. These are the areas we're more than likely going to start off. I think it makes sense in a way because Kakawow is a Chinese company. Kakawow is in Beijing, and I believe what a lot of Pokemon, and I could be wrong, but I think Magic the Gathering kind of does the same thing. They do a lot of English and Chinese sets in the Hong Kong and Beijing areas because they all know English and Chinese. So I think that's where the game's going to start. But when I say that, I myself am talking more of promos and game demos, and like if we even look back to some of the newer games that have recently come out, like Lorcana, they did at least a year-long tempo of just like distributing demos and getting the game out there, but it was only at select locations throughout the US and only at select locations throughout Europe. So like it was not a global release initially. So the game was very limited just to kind of get teasers out, to get feelers out, and then to try to like do the last minute fine tuning. I feel as if this is the way it's going to be. But then the other way is that it could just be that it's going to be some English speaking countries like the United States, maybe even some European countries like England and China for the first set or two. And then as they build the player base, and if they determine that, hey, there is a large fan base asking for this game in other parts of the world, then we'll expand. I think this is just a very generic way of saying, hey, we've got a plan where it's only going to start off in a small dose. We're going to gauge things, and then we'll expand from there. Again, could be wrong on all that. We'll see. We've got a lot of time between now and the release of the game to figure all this out, right? And that's what's kind of exciting to me. I want the game to be here now. Don't get me wrong. I want the game to be here, but I want them to do it the right way, and I want them to make this the best game possible. And if that means that we in the United States don't get all these demos and the promos, and I would hate to say like the first set or two initially, if it eventually means that they're going to perfect things, they're going to nail everything down, they're going to deliver a very solid, well thought out product, I would almost rather that, you know? It's just the thought, the prospect of it is so exciting. But then it goes into, in the future, the partnership will deliver continuous Wizarding World experiences to the Harry Potter fans, trading card collectors, and competitive TCG players across the globe. There is a lot to unpack on that, but what makes me excited is that they've got a plan, right? We've already established they've got the long-term roadmap. They've got a plan going through, and then they have where they're saying they're going to deliver the continuous Wizarding World experiences to Harry Potter fans. So they're focused on the Harry Potter aspect of it, right? There's and I say this, and this is a large point because there's been speculation in the past that if there was ever a game created where Harry Potter was in it, it would not be a Harry Potter standalone game. Something akin to Magic the Gathering's Universes Beyond. I'm not saying that's what it is, but a lot of people thought of it that way. Like there's going to be a game that's already well established that will just include some Harry Potter stuff. This is saying more or less that it's going to be just for the Wizarding World, and it's going to expand on just the Wizarding World, which is super exciting to me. But that they're going to deliver for trading card collectors. This could mean a whole slew of things. We all know that right now we're in what I consider like the golden age of trading card games, right? The market is booming, and that is an understatement to say the very least. The markets are booming. Games are popping up left and right, starting. Now, I'm not talking like small indie games, because a lot of those are not surviving. However, games like Lorcana with Disney, One Piece and Bandai, and now it's going to be the Naruto TCG with Bandai. You've got like Sorcery, which I guess is kind of an indie game now that I just, put my foot in my mouth. But it is what it is. This is the time to be bringing games out. There's a lot of money to be made for companies like Warner Brothers and Kakawow to do something like this. So the incentive is there. But what is getting me is they're talking about the trading card collectors. So that tells me they've got at least something in mind beyond just a regular base set game. Think about Pokemon for just a minute. If you wizards and witches out there don't know what I'm talking about, Pokemon has like a bajillion rarities in their game, right? I love Pokemon, don't get me wrong. Me and my son play Pokemon all the time. But they have like their regular, here, actually I've got some cards right here. Like they've got their regular base set cards. These are the standard cards. You're going to get majority of these out of packs. They have their ultra rares, which are foily, like bigger cards, but they're nothing super duper special. Then they have full arts and texture cards, which have like texturing on them, and they're this one's gold. Then they have alternate arts like this, which have some crazy artworks on it, and they're super. What I'm gathering from this is that they're going to, they're designing stuff that it's going to be for card collectors. So they're going to, I take it as they're going to be building stuff like that, like what Pokemon's doing, into the game. So not only can you just get the cards to play the game, you can get cards to collect within the game as well. And then, of course, the last piece, which is the creme de la creme, competitive TCG players across the globe. So that line tells me that I don't need to worry about this game not coming to the US, not coming to Europe, not coming to South America, wherever, it doesn't matter. Because they want to build a competitive TCG across the globe. And that right there is telling me they've already got it. Competitive players are in the crosshairs, man. They're gunning for us. And that's going to be fantastic. They want to build a competitive TCG akin to Pokemon, akin to Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! They want Harry Potter TCG to be on that same level across the globe. So having international tournaments, having world championships, like that is so exciting. So here's my thing, right? Like a lot of us are not crazy competitive players. I know there are a lot. I am a fan and I'm a collector and I'm just like a casual player before anything else. But this is a game I genuinely will actually try to be a very competitive player. Depending on the game, of course. I guess I should pump the brakes a little bit on that and just say we have no idea what the game looks like. We have no idea how the game is going to play. It could be really poopy game. I mean, my son's going to laugh when he listens to that part. We don't know anything about the game yet. Like, this is literally it. This post is literally it. We're going to get to a spot where we discover more. And there's going to be a lot more. There was a lot to unpack in this one post, though. And I don't know. I don't know if they were expecting any kind of like fanfare right out of the gates, because Kakawow is the only one that's posted the announcement. So Kakawow And then the CEO of, I think it's Suplay, is the parent company of Kakawow. So Suplay is like this broad, they own everything collectibles in China, right? Think of them as the Chinese, what would they be the equivalent here? I guess there's not really an equivalent here because there's too many different companies. Think of them though as like they own, they're the biggest, they're the Amazon of collectibles there, right? Like they are the biggest company out there. They make the most different types of collectibles and stuff. One of the companies they own is Kakawow, and Kakawow is specific to just cards. So those are the only two accounts that have actually made a post. So Kakawow Global, and then the CEO of Suplay, which we're going to get to here in just a second. Their posts are very similar, but they do have some detailed differences, which I think are important, and the context is important for it. So this is not unusual. It's from what I'm reading and from what I've dug into, it's very standard common practice for the companies that are actually creating these things to put things out and kind of get some stuff out there before larger parent companies like Warner Brothers or like the Wizarding World come out and make official announcements as well. They kind of want to let games and designers like this kind of get the show out, get the thunder for it, get all the spotlight for it, and then they'll back it up soon. So Ren here, I think that we will probably get an official announcement from Warner Brothers or the actual Harry Potter IP, the Wizarding World. I think we'll get that sooner rather than later. I don't know how soon, honestly, we'll get it, but I think they're kind of letting them have their moment right now to get it out there. And then once there's product to show, I think it's once they have a sample, something to tease us with, that's when Warner Brothers will drop something. And there's nothing as of yet to show off. I did ask the CEO. I reached out I reached out on Instagram and asked. So if we switch over to the CEO of Suplay, his name is Alex, CEO Alex. And I did verify all this. I went and did some digging just to double check because I'm like, what are the chances this is like some weird fan account stuff? But it's not. These are official accounts. And then this is the official CEO of Suplay, which again owns the Kakawow business. So he posted, tagging the Kakawow Global account, Harry Potter TCG officially announced yesterday at Kakajoy, which was think of like a Comic-Con in Beijing, in China. So yesterday at Kakajoy, I joined Vikram, Ivana Lynch, and Sean Biggerstaff on stage to officially announce our brand new Harry Potter trading card game project. So Ivana Lynch and Sean Biggerstaff, they are OG actors for the original movie series. You've got Luna Lovegood and Oliver Wood joining them. So that was already kind of a big deal. We kind of saw that something might be happening because they're bringing out some of these actors to there. Now, I couldn't find any videos of the Kakajoy con, the convention. I couldn't find anything. The few things I did see were basically all in Chinese anyway, and I couldn't understand a word that they were saying. So I don't know how it actually went down, but apparently those two were with Suplay and Kakawow when they announced that there's a TCG coming. And they said, here are the key highlights. A long-term strategic collaboration between Kakawow and Warner Brothers Discovery. So again, talking about the long-term strategic collaboration. I love that because again, it just talks about that they've laid out a roadmap, and Warner Brothers must have been like, okay, you guys got the reins, let's do this. Because they wouldn't just come out and say they got a long-term collaboration without it actually being a thing, and then they wouldn't say long-term, of course, if they didn't have a long-term plan. So I doubt it's anything less than 3 years. I wouldn't even consider 3 years long term. I would consider more of like 5 years long term, but I digress. That's a personal thing. I don't know what their timeline is, but I imagine it's somewhere between 3 and 5 years is what they're going to be allocated and probably get resources for. So at the very minimum, I think if this game continues to go through, then I think we'll get at least 3 to 5 years worth of stuff for the game, which is exciting. It says original gameplay built specifically around the Harry Potter universe. I see this 2 different ways, and I'm not sure which way. I know which way it is. I know which way it's going to go, but part of me is just like, but what if it goes the other way? Here's what I'm talking about. It says original gameplay built specifically around the Harry Potter universe. So they're confirming again that it is just Harry Potter. It's not going to be where Harry Potter's built into our already established universe like Magic the Gathering. It's going to be a game designed specifically around the Harry Potter universe, which is also there's a distinction there that is very important because they say the Harry Potter universe. So it's not just the Harry Potter movies that they're going to be doing. It could be stuff like the Fantastic Beasts. It could be maybe they do make the Hogwarts Legacy games canon, use that storyline and make cards for sets that take place, 200 years, whatever. I'm just saying, I think that that's their plan to expand beyond just the Harry Potter films. I think that's a huge and important detail there. But it says it's original gameplay that they're going to build. What that tells me is, it's not going to be based on any existing game. So it's not going to play the way that Pokemon plays. It's not going to play the way Magic or the way that Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the way that any of these other games play. It's going to be 100% original. My other thought, though, was that, the original Harry Potter TCG was an original gameplay design. So maybe they just revert back to that because it would still technically be original gameplay, So I don't know. I know that is likely not the way it's going to go. I don't want to set myself or any of you up for failure by getting your hopes up like that. I truly do think it's going to be a brand new game from the ground up, which could be good or bad. I love the original game. A lot of people love the original game. I mean, that's why the whole revival team exists. That's why honestly, because there were people that loved the original game so much, is why we are here now with this happening. So honestly, I don't know that they're going to give themselves enough credit. But the revival team, seriously, who else do we credit for getting them to potentially look at building a brand new game? Hats off to the revival team. That's all I'm going to say. I think everybody knows that I love that team tremendously. They've done some amazing work. I really wish they would just hire the revival team to make this project and continue it on and just make all the cards that they've built official. I think that would be unheard of, but awesome. I also know that that's likely not the scenario, and if it is the scenario, then Sammy is a mad genius who's kept this from me, and I will forgive him eventually. But no, I don't think it's going to be anything close to the original game. It's at least not going to mimic it, because it's going to be original gameplay built specifically around the Harry Potter universe. I do truly believe that it is going to be a game made from scratch. And that it's not going to play the way that anything else does. It's kind of like, again, like when Lorcana came out, that was a game that nobody had ever done anything similar to. I think that's what we're going to get for this. It says 100% original, hand-created artwork with zero AI involvement. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah. Not movie stills. That is the thing I wanted to put in there. So, I mean, no AI involvement. That is fantastic, too. I'm not going to try to diminish that at all. But they're going to do 100% original hand-created artwork. Oh, boy, does that make me excited. I read that and I thought, oh, sweet baby Jesus, that is great. That is fantastic. I was so worried that this game was going to be just snippets of the show, that they just put some ugly trading card game on. And if some of you have been following recent news about Harry Potter card games, then you know what I'm talking about with the new Japanese card game that's they put out there. It is hideous. It is beyond hideous. It is awful. They use these really low-res quality screenshots and then just put like some old Decipher TCG stuff over top of it, and it's awful. And I almost cried when I saw that originally because I thought that's what our game's going to be, but I don't think it is. So that right there is probably the most heartwarming part of all of this, is that it's going to be 100% original, hand-created card artwork with zero AI involvement. That's probably the thing that's got me the most excited. I won't even lie. Like, if this game didn't even come out in English, if it was only in Chinese, you best believe I'm going to be importing some Chinese cards and learning how to read Chinese just to play the game, right? But we don't have to, because the next one even says Chinese and English editions. And then it says planned for release in multiple international markets. That's the key takeaway that I was saying earlier. I'm alluding to that. I truly do think that they're going to do teasers, they're going to do demos, and they're going to do the initial promo cards released in certain areas only to kind of get the game going. That's what Lorcana did when they first started. That's what One Piece did when they first started. I can't remember that far back for Pokemon and Magic, so I don't know there. But I think that's the plan. They're going to just get it started with those teasers, those little tastes of what the game's going to be in these specific spots. And then when the game is actually slated to release globally, they're going to just release it for all the international markets. So that has me super excited. I think this is not a joke. This is not like any kind of tease. I think this is legitimate. And it has got me so excited. Now, I will say, I did reach out to the CEO Alex on his post because I wanted to know. I said, any idea on when the cards or gameplay mechanics will be shown? And I just put that I've been waiting for this for years, right? And he replied almost right away. It was kind of incredible, actually. He just says, we'll keep you posted. It's kind of a non-answer within the answer, but I also respect it because there's probably not a lot they can actually reveal right now until they get the promotional stuff ready for Warner Brothers to show. But the fact that he responded that quickly and that they're kind of keeping it close to the chest right now, honestly, I feel so good about this already. Again, trying to temper the expectations here. But I think we are in the very beginning, early stages of a brand new Harry Potter trading card game that could really be something special. Again, we have to wait and see what all comes through with it because we don't know what the cards look like. We don't know how it's going to play yet. I'm willing to give whatever a chance. I mean, even if it was that ugly as sin Japanese card game that they started doing, I would give it at least a chance to see how the gameplay works first. I would probably complain about it still a lot, but I'm going to give them a chance, right? This could be a really cool thing, or it could be maybe really disappointing. I don't know. But I have high hopes currently for this game, and as more information drops, I will, of course, be letting you all know and making some videos kind of going over it all. I really hope that they continue to go down this road and they make this the best game it can possibly be. I mean, like, truly, I hope they put all of the time, resources, and everything necessary to make this a fantastic game in. Most importantly, please, Warner Brothers, if you're watching, please give it a shot. Just give it some time to prove itself before you pull the plug, please. We have been begging for this for years, okay? Yeah, but that is, honestly, that is all I have. That is literally the only bit of news that I could dig up and find on all of this. If anybody else watching the video has made it this far and you have other info to put in, feel free to slap it in the comments below. I did a lot of digging on all of this. I couldn't find much from the Kakawow convention, and outside of these two posts, I really didn't see anything else. The Wizarding World never posted anything, at least at the time of this recording, and Warner Brothers hasn't posted anything, so there's nothing like super official. I think once they post something, it'll be real. Like it'll actually hit me that this is really happening, you know. But for now, this is very exciting. I'm happy that we are finally getting the look at we deserve for having a TCG in this community. And that's not a knock on the Revival team or the OG classic Harry Potter TCG players. I'm excited to finally get something official again, to where, like, I am just a fiend for opening packs and reviewing product and just sharing my love of artworks and gameplay mechanics, and just, I can't wait to geek out and do what I do for my Pokemon channel for this, because this is honestly, I think, where my passion is way more than Pokemon. So I will be, I'm ready. I'm ready. My body's ready. My mind is ready. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. But that's all we have time for today. I have rambled on for way too long. Again, of course. That's all we have. We'll see you guys in the next video.